I posted the question on my Patreon page on what build to do next. I posted a picture with some of the kits I had lined up to still be built, and they chose this one. So let's jump into the box quickly and then into a bit more detail later on. The kit does not come with a lot of clear parts, however they are nicely detailed and seem to have a sort of snap-in mechanism, so it's a lot easier to glue them in without spilling glue all over them. As you can see, they have a lot of the nice lines in them to detail them out. All the various parts and pieces are nice and clear. They are a bit simple in some cases, as you can see here. They are a press in instead of a glue in. Maybe I can just cut that off and clean it up at the back end. And the main window itself is a bit thick. It looks pretty good, but it does have some distortion, as you can see right here, because of the thickness. However, if you look at it from the front, it doesn't really look too bad. With the kit being a curbside kit, meaning that it does not come with an engine or a hood that opens, this one does have a bit of detail, but not all that much. It's just to detail the underside and have a bit of the side profile, but not much more. It seems to be nicely detailed, but it's not really that great. Just a lot of blank spots. This pretty much all needs to be painted black, and then this can be detailed a bit to spruce it up. There are a lot of detailed pieces and parts separately molded from the body, making it easier to paint them, like the wipers, of course, the mirrors, and even a grille that is detailed and also makes it a lot easier to assemble the pieces behind, just to snap them in. Comes with a snorkel in a couple pieces, some latches, the fuel filler, and some more latches for other places. Of course, not everything is molded directly onto the chassis. There are a couple of separate pieces like these axles and drive shafts. They are nicely detailed, as you can see the links and all the small details in between. So with a bit of paint and maybe some weathering, it can look really cool. So just like the axles, other details like the exhaust, and I think this is a transfer case, but you off-road guys will probably correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, so be sure to do that if you know what I'm missing here. There seem to be some parts missing right here, 62 and 63. However, when going through the manual quickly, I didn't really find them, so I have no idea which pieces these are. I think, however, I will be fine without, and if not, we'll have to figure out something along the way. Instead of doing a lot of molded in springs and making it look really stupid and toyish, they decided to add some actual springs, which should function. I'm not sure if the actual car will function with the springs, however, it looks like it will, but that's all to be found out during the build itself. A couple of screws to attach it to the body steadily, and also some metal axles to put the wheels on and have them spin, and not just break if a kid tries to push on it or play with it, because it seems like this is supposed to be a kid's toy and not really a super detailed kit. However, I'm going to detail it a bit more than usual, probably maybe even weather it a bit, and see if this is actually working suspension or not. Moving over from the chassis onto the underbody. It's nicely detailed, but Nothing will pretty much be seen after bolting on all those chassis pieces, the springs and the axles and all that stuff. However, you can do some stuff with it. I'm probably not going to be bothered, and probably doing it with some Line-X or textured paint. From that we go to the main interior tub itself. That is molded directly on the other side, of course. It has the center console molded in. A couple of details, not too many, but it looks pretty cool. You can see that the seats are supposed to be mounted here, and some other components are supposed to be mounted there. Not too detailed, but we can do something with it. The seats are also molded separately, as you could just see there. It has the seat backs molded in separate pieces to just be glued on, and the same goes for the rear seat, of course. It has some nice details in the seats, some clean lines, so you can do multiple colors if you want, or maybe add a pinstripe in the middle, but that's all up to you, of course. The door cards and side plastics for in the back are molded into one piece. It has again some details molded in, and also a bit of texture, as you can see on the door card itself. So with a bit of paint, that can be looking really good, and the rest is just a nice clean smooth plastic. The steering wheel is also nicely detailed, has the Jeep emblem in it and not too much more. It has some indicator stalks and the main steering column as well. The final piece for the interior is the dashboard. It is a nicely detailed dashboard completed with all vents, buttons, stereos, and details all over the place. So with a bit of paint, this can look like the actual thing and just go as a convincing piece. Now transferring from the interior to the exterior slowly, the final interior pieces are a roll cage. This can be painted in various different colors. You can go pretty wild or just keep it black or silver. And then moving on to some of the exterior pieces like the wide fender arches. These are luckily molded in separate pieces, as they are supposed to be different colors from the body. Now you can of course decide to paint them in the same body color, or just paint them in a different color, but you don't have to mask it, so that's really easily done there. So Revell went with a bit of an off-road style. As you can see here, it has some side impact bars. I think this is a skid plate of some sort to go on the front to protect the engine, and a nice beefy front bumper with a winch and some other details as well. The rear bumper is also a separately molded piece, just a bare plastic piece, not chromed, so you can easily just paint it in whatever color you want, and it also has some steps for on the side from some diamond plate. Of course, it wouldn't be a Revell kit without some chrome parts and pieces, so they added two sprues. One with some details for the mirrors and the light housings and backings, as you can see here, and the other with some wheels and some more lights for on the top. I think this is supposed to be an exhaust piece, but I'm not sure. The wheels are nicely detailed, though the chrome does hide a bit of the detail as it's on there really thick. And the backing is really simple and again very rigid, because I think this is supposed to be for kids to play with, as opposed to other models. If kids play with them, they break. This one seems to be pretty rigid. To go along with those nice beefy off-road wheels, you of course get some big fat tires with a nice thread pattern on them as well. I will be using these tires. I'm not too sure on the wheels yet. Maybe I'm going to use some aftermarket ones to give it a bit of a tuner look, or just a bit more of a custom look. I'm not sure. However, if those standard wheels from the kit are painted in another color, they might just look really good as well, but we'll see during the build. So I knew up front that this was a pretty simple kit, and I kind of thought it was a bit of a snap-tight kit, a bit of a kid's toy. However, at least it seems to be a bit of a kid's toy, and normally those snap-tight kit comes with some of these stickers instead of decals. Now luckily this one is more of a builder type kit, so it comes with a nice decal sheet, so you can just clear over it and protect the decals. It has some weird stripes, a couple of license plates which fit the build pretty nicely, of course some Rubicon logos, some Jeep logos, and some other off-road things, or at least off-road specific things like these funny decals, some Park Ranger decals which will not be used, some more Jeep logos, the instrument cluster, and some of the indicators for on the side. The final piece to this puzzle, of course, is the body. It's nicely molded in one. The hood is molded shut as it is a curbside, meaning it doesn't have an engine. You can clearly see where the over fenders are supposed to be mounted. It has some very nice panel lines and gaps between them, maybe a bit of scribing but not all that much. Nice indicators where some decals need to be placed as it's raised and is supposed to be a bit of a 3D emblem. Some other nice details like some more latches, bolts, even these sun visors, and it has some of this diamond teardrop plate on the back. Not too sure if I'm a big fan of it or not. I will see if it sands off easily. If it does, I will probably remove it to make it look a bit cleaner. The grille is also molded in because it's mostly supposed to be the same color as the rest of the body, and it's see-through as you can see here, with a piece for a radiator that is supposed to be mounted behind it, along with, of course, the clear parts, the chrome parts, and all that other jazz.